Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Jack Netley Thompson, and once again, as always and as usual, I am joined by my platonic partner.
Oh, I'm not a husband anymore.
Just PP, you know.
PP.
Kristian Lasham.
I've always wondered if you enjoyed a PP.
How are you?
I-
Other than toasty.
Toasty, but I'm fine. I'm all right. I'm more back to normal now with the time zone things. I'm feeling more British.
You've had your tea.
I've had my tea. I've had many teas to the point where I've had to buy more tea today. That's not like people run out of tea. That's not exclusive to the fact I've just come back from America. But
I was going to say, that does occur. That does
happen anyway.
Do you know what my biggest problem is? I'm always like, I want tea. So
Yeah.
I'll go out and buy milk. Because I've always got tea.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go out and buy milk. I'll have a singular cup of tea. And then I won't touch it again. Go back, I want another cup of tea. Milk's off.
See? Now, this is why I don't have milk in my tea. One of many reasons why I don't have milk in
Yes,
my
I
tea.
know, but black tea is disgusting.
Train
But-
yourself.
No. But it's one of the, like, also cereal as well. I very rarely have cereal and I very rarely have tea at home. So it's just one of those very fucking annoying because at any given time there is a gone off bottle of milk in my fridge.
This is the time of year where I have the least tea
Because it's
warm. Yeah.
Yes. It's very unpleasant. However, once you've had the tea, though, because you're taking in more, then everything else feels
Yeah.
a bit cooler. But no, I agree. I hate hot stuff, which is why just buy smaller bottles of milk. See, yes, obviously that is the logical conclusion. However, the shop that I can just walk to doesn't sell the small bottles of milk.
That's not helpful.
It's not helpful, and by fuck am I driving to another town.
Why don't you just order on Amazon just the little tubs of like FHT milk and just have a whole bunch of those in your house? If it's just for tea.
It's not even something that occurred to me.
If it's just for tea, I don't see the issue with that because that stuff's fine in tea. Back when I used to have milk in tea.
Back when you were smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every now and then I do end up accidentally having milk because I'll go somewhere and I'll ask for tea and then before I get a chance to specify I don't want milk in it, someone puts milk in it. And many times I'll just, part of it. It's just, I don't hate it.
We're in a world where people will always ask whether you want milk or not in coffee,
Yeah.
but never in tea.
Yeah. But I don't dislike milk in tea. I don't dislike it. I just prefer it without. So I happily drink it with milk. But in America, in the few places I did have tea out there, they don't have, like, pretty much don't have milk in tea.
They also don't know how to make it. So.
And they also don't know how to make it, I know. But it just was an issue I never had to deal with, which was quite nice. There you go.
Stop off at a shop that does sell small milk on the way home from work. I can't believe there's not a co-op between Tunbridge Wells and home. Believe it, because there isn't. There is a petrol station between work and my house. That is literally it. It's a small, not off-brand petrol station that is exorbitantly expensive.
Jack is in the middle of nowhere, to be fair to him. Unless he got something nearer Tunbridge Wells, and at that point you've then had milk in your car for an hour.
Yeah, and in this weather.
Yeah.
No, thank you. It'll be off.
It'll be
by the time
cheese
I get
by the time you're home.
Yes,
So.
exactly. And I don't want cheese in my tea. That's where we will agree.
I completely agree on
I
that
don't
one.
want cheese in my tea. Anyway, this is Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing is watching us talk about cheese. You can you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can join the chaos and carnage that is a conversation over on the internet.
On the internet. You're right.
I mean, technically correct.
It is.
I just want to point that out. That's technically
yeah,
correct.
it is.
Over in the Discord. I think
Indeed.
it combined the two. The audio servers.
I think you probably did, yeah.
Yeah, I did. And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbithole_media_UK and on TikTok at rabbithole_media for all the behind-the-scenes tits and bits. If you'd like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that recently got wider. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but goes a very long way in helping us bring you the shows that you love. Yeah, so those Amazon Prime subscriptions, the number is dropping. So I think some of you need to stop sitting on your fingers. Pull them out of there.
Absolutely.
The sound effect wasn't
Let
needed. I apologize.
Caden be a... what's the word I'm looking for? An icon of what you should be doing. An example.
Indeed. Please vote away. And preferably, I can't say anything. It would ruin things. Damn.
Caden is obviously... Rich has also said Caden might be able to help with our tie issue. Caden's obviously
As
not
in a
really
draw,
sure
not
what's
a...
going on. Yes.
Not a
I don't think
clothing.
Caden's active in the Discord, so I don't think he would have seen...
Well, I did put an everything tag, so you should have fucking
I
seen.
agree. He should reinstall it and be more committed.
Agreed.
I was just making a comment about him being like the icon of an example of how to support us. But join the Discord, Caden. What's the matter with you?
Don't do that. We've given away something, but it's fine. We're here today to talk about Logan. Paul, the YouTuber. We don't really need to have a discussion to do this bit. Shall we do the ranking?
Yeah, pretty much.
General thoughts, please, sir.
So, my first general thought is for a film that I'm about to give as much praise to. I've not seen it as much as I would have liked. And I think that really comes down to the given... I know, I saw it was about to happen.
My soul fell out my arsehole is what just happened. Good fucking Lord.
I feel this film falls into a similar camp of how I like things like... This is going to be an example and a comparison that comes up a lot today.
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us. It's excellent. I think it's a masterpiece in storytelling. I think it's a masterpiece in action. I think it's just fantastic in every way it could possibly be. I don't think I can actually really find a flaw with this film myself.
One that's only if I was held at gunpoint to point out a flaw.
Okay.
There's some wonky CGI. Not bad. But,
Yes,
but wonky. However, if wonky CGI is what it takes for me to get a film like this, I'm happy.
Yeah, and those for me, those kind of things have never really personally bothered me. Like, stuff has to be bad CGI. Wonky, I'm always just okay with.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
just
I'm
my
fine
personal
with it.
thing.
I'm fine with it. No, I'm just, as I said, it's just if I had to say there's a flaw with this movie.
But what I find about it is many of the things I get out of this I enjoy aren't necessarily positive emotions.
No, they're not.
So it's not a film I'm just like, do you know what? It's going to really pass the time my evening. Nice relaxing thing to watch is Logan. So it's not something I've watched very often, but every time I have watched it, it's just completely engrossing. I think this film is excellent, and I know we've already said and we've hinted about where this is going to go. We've been quite explicit about where this is going to go on the ranking, but personally, I genuinely think that this is one of the best films ever made.
I agree.
Like, well up there with one of the best films ever made. I think it's outstanding.
I agree with everything.
There you go.
I don't really have anything else to add on a general thought point of view because, I think this is one of the best films ever made. It's one of my favourite films that exists in the universe, and not just from a Marvel or superhero standpoint, just from a film standpoint.
Yeah, I think this kind of transcends everything that we've ever discussed, at least part of X-Men and the X-Men films we've been discussing so far, what makes them good and what doesn't. Like, this is just, as a piece of media, outstanding. It's brilliantly paced. It's got brilliant use of music and sound effects and non-diegetic and diegetic sound and character development and action scenes and cinematography and lighting and tone and color palette. Like, every single thing is so deliberate and works so well. And there are many comparisons to The Last of Us with this.
There are, yeah.
And I think it's fair that many people, when this film came out, took comparisons to The Last of Us and the idea of Hugh Jackman being Joel, because it's not just the story elements of this that are similar to The Last of Us, and not just the fact that he looks a bit like Joel, but the music is very similar kind of music to The Last of Us. The color palettes, the framing, the way it begins, everything. There's so many things there. I'm confident, I don't know if it's ever been spoken about from the creators, but I'm confident they took some form of inspiration from some of that game for this.
Quite possibly, or The Road, book or film, because The Last of Us took heavy inspiration from that. If they both took inspiration from that, obviously you can then draw the comparisons between the two. The Road is something I've never actually seen, but I've been meaning to, because it's, again, one of these types of movies.
Out of context, that message from Hannah.
It's very bizarre. And we will leave it as a mystery. This is why you join the Twitch. You can you join on Twitch because you can find out what all these mysteries that we don't bring up.
You mean Discord?
No, this is for people in the future watching on YouTube.
Oh, I see.
This is why you join
Sorry.
the Twitch so that you can see the chat
I
and
understand.
find out what all these mysteries, usually from Hannah, that we don't read out.
I understand.
Yeah, I do need to watch The Road because apparently I like these types of films. And I was saying, Rich has also said that I can use this text from yesterday. I was going to because it helps me. It brings me into a good point about media in general. But Rich texted me last night saying,
Wait, am I marking for spoilers yet? Or
No.
Okay.
It's not a spoiler.
Just checking.
Yeah. Bold statement, but Logan is like The Last of Us. It's a fantastic piece of entertainment that is great in its own right, but hard to enjoy. There's so much anger, sadness, loss, but it's so well done. And I think that pretty much sums up what I like.
Yeah.
Check on me later, that's fine. But this is the sort of thing I like. And then it comes down to a question, and obviously a lot of people, there's a lot of criticisms that The Last of Us got, that this got, is that for whatever reason people have gotten into in their heads that for something to be good and for something to be enjoyable, it has to be fun. Mm-hmm. And they don't know that enjoyment or entertainment doesn't, well, entertainment literally does mean that, but enjoyment doesn't necessarily mean fun. Mm-hmm. Something doesn't have to be fun to give you something. Like this, definitely, you wouldn't go, I had a fun time.
I mean, I think there's some fun moments as part of the action scenes.
But even they're not.
But they're brutal
fun,
and uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same with The Last of Us. Like, there's a good game of golf in The Last of Us. But you wouldn't necessarily say it was fun.
Yeah. Well,
I'm very proud of that joke, by the way.
It comes to, we had this conversation the other night and we were nattering until ludicrous o'clock in the morning. And probably as preface of this, it's like some people just struggle to enjoy negative emotions and negative feelings. And that's okay. Like everyone processes feelings and emotions and reactions differently. But I think a lot of people, and you and I clearly do fall into that camp of enjoy and find processing those emotions and experiencing those emotions in that manner quite cathartic. And personally, I find those things helpful to deal with real life difficulties and trauma and stress and sadness. Being able to relate that to a piece of media helps me process those things. Some people it doesn't. Some people experience something sad and bad happen to them, and the way they want to fight that is to listen to something pleasurable or watch something pleasurable to take their mind off it, to make them feel happier. That doesn't work for me. Mm-hmm. All that really does is remind me of how miserable I am.
Look at all these happy people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what happens with me. So for me, being able to connect to stuff like this and Last of Us and whatever examples helps me process those things, and then makes me feel better afterwards, and make me feel better about myself and my situations because I've been able to process them in a different way. That's just how I find it.
No, I'm very much the same, which is why when you're just like all the favourite games in the world, and you're listing essentially Sony games, because they're just like, let's fuck them up. Let's do Uncharted, which is happy-go-lucky, then Uncharted 4, and you go, oh, fuck, okay, fine. And then The Last of Us, oh, fuck, okay, fine. Horizon, okay, moment to breathe. The world is dead, oh, fuck, okay, fine.
That finds ways of hitting you as well, especially in the sequel.
Yeah, and then God of War, and you're like, yeah, murder the monster, oh, fuck, okay, fine. Yeah, and so it's just the sort of things I like, which is why when we were selecting the passion films for the vote, I was writing down mine. I was like, do I need help?
But I don't think you do, because you've got that content as your help. That's the way I see it. It falls in the same with the music and stuff I like. I'm like, my big musical tastes are all like emo stuff and post-emo music, and that's always been my thing because I found that easier, and it's good for me. It works for me. I like it.
I just drive home listening to piano
Shouty
ballads and weeping.
Oh, I see.
That's not true.
I thought you liked the shouty men.
I like the shouty people. I also like the singing people as well, to be fair. I like a bit of everything. The talky people as well.
The fast talky people.
The fast talky people. The ones who talk and rhyme, and there just happens to be music going on at the same time. I'm so confused for a second.
We've gone silent.
We have. Sorry, I was reading a long message that has nothing to do with our conversation, so it's fine. It was to do with prior chats.
I see.
To do with prior chats. But anyway, let's get into spoilers of Logan. This film fucking opens, doesn't it?
Yep.
Like, good lord. Just to show that, okay, this is not the same X-Men movie or the same Wolverine we've had before. Here's some people who, at first, were just mildly inconveniencing him. So he was a bit like, can you fuck off, please? And then he murders them.
Oh, he murders them good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
It's just, I think what it does, and I think the choice to do this in this way is so deliberate because it is such a different X-Men, such a different superhero movie, such a different comic book movie that we've had. It just sets that tone really early, and it's just that kind of like, look, this is what this film is. Buckle up. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a really good decision to do that. But it also manages to set up not just the tone, but the setting of the film really well. Straight away, we're revealed to, okay, it's an older Logan. He is clearly tired. He is clearly struggling, and he's clearly at his wit's end. And just his whole thing is just, his whole demeanor is, come on, I really can't bother to deal with this right now.
Relatable.
I relate, yes. and that opening scene when that kicks off, you can tell where it's going to go. Oh, it's going to be a fight. He's going to kill them. It's fuck, like immediately just. And I think I didn't realize it until I saw it for the first time. It's like, this is what I've always wanted from this character.
Oh, 100%. 100. Like, it's one of those PG-13 problems or just 12 problems of you've got this character whose only way of fighting is violent as hell. It's the same with like sword fights. There's no way for them to not be gruesome. So when you watch it in a film or a show or whatever with a rating that can't be gruesome, it always feels weird. Mm-hmm. Like all these particular and you get some like rage moments from like in X-Men 2 in the mansion, where he just fucks everyone up. But it's just like, but there's nothing. Like he's stabbing people, he's slashing people, and they're all just in one piece. There's his claws come out
one piece, and they
shiny.
just fall down to the floor quickly in silence. There's no reaction really to them. It's just immediately dead. Whereas this is just kind of like some of them are getting back up and fighting. Some of them can't because they've had limbs removed and everything else, and they're reacting as well. Like that one, he stabs like through the arm. Like that guy is very viscerally aware of that, as you would be. Like you would react. Yes. Yeah. Like you're not just gonna, I've been stabbed, I'm now dead. Like that would be, I've been stabbed, but I'm alive and I'm aware of everything that's going on.
And I'm in incredible
pain. Like Toom just said, is that the scene where his claws come out slowly? Yes. Like obviously as he,
one of them gets stuck. Yeah.
And that's something else this film does all the way through, and I think is brilliant throughout this film, is that every piece of information you need to know what's going on, it manages to either show you, or if it is telling you of exposition, it is not just exhibition, it is all contextual dialogue that makes sense for them to be saying it. Things like when you first get the reveal of the girl and what her powers are, and what's going on there. It's building that mystery of who's this little girl, who is she, why is she so, what's happening. You've kind of got implications. There's something more to this girl that we don't know yet, but obviously it shows you the reveal of she has claws, and it's like, oh shit, she has claws and she's mental. And then you get a line of dialogue which makes sense because everyone's shooting at her and the guy just says, don't shoot at her, she heals. So that tells you the information you need to know. She's got claws and she heals. So I know that information.
And then obviously you get Patrick Stewart going, she's a mutant like you.
And you start putting the links together. Yeah. But it's telling you of exposition, but not in a way which is just nonsense.
Hammy, yeah.
It makes sense that he would say that.
Yeah.
Like if everyone's going to shoot her, which they would do, they're just goons. That's what they're going to do. It makes sense that he would say this is a waste of time, and remind it in that moment of frustration. Come on, man. We do it to ourselves all the time in situations that don't do that. This happens.
Yeah.
Like, it's that kind of dialogue. And that happens quite a few times throughout the film where they're able to give you bits of information which is relevant to have actually been said contextually.
I've written down my favourite line of dialogue.
Go on.
In the whole movie. And that was my favourite mug.
Why don't I remember that? When does that happen?
Logan slaps a mug out of Stephen Merchant's hand, and you just hear a smash, and he just goes, That was my favourite mug. I don't know why. It tickles me every time.
Those kind of
very few lines of comedy in this, I think, for some reason, like remain funnier for longer than like Deadpool, for example, in rewatches, just because the juxtaposition with the rest of the world, and it's more natural. If someone was to slap my favourite mug out of my hand and it broke, I'd be like, that was my favourite mug. No, I would say that, or just the make way, sir. I said make way.
Yeah, I was going to get onto all of that in a minute.
Excellent, I love it.
But as I said, it does it a few times. It does it shortly before that when they're talking about Professor X and what's going on, and he has the seizure, and everyone's being affected, and you know Caliban's being effective, and Logan's clearly being affected, but working through it. And then you get dialogue afterwards as he and Caliban are talking about it, where again it gives you exposition to explain to you that Logan is less effective. But it's done in a way which makes sense contextually that they'd be saying that. A lot of the time when you get exposition in these films, it's like, why are you telling us that? Why are you saying it? There's no reason contextually within what you're within your conversation why you'd actually say it. And that's when exposition becomes exposition and uninteresting. And all the way through this film, I think it does it perfectly.
Did we have a Caliban last week?
I don't know. I didn't see last week's.
I don't remember last week's. I saw it. Begrudgingly, but I don't remember it. So I don't remember a Caliban. No, that you mentioned the whole seizure thing, and I love the effect of the seizures. It's just so simple but effective. What I love even more is just how simple and how easy to do it is. They literally just, instead of just standing there with the camera, they were just shaking the shit out of the camera and then stabilized it.
Oh,
That's literally all they did.
That's cool. That's clever.
and that's the effect. And that's only because they only did that because Patrick Stewart basically said, like, if he's meant to be having a seizure, he feels like a bit of an idiot if he's just lying there and there's a camera and he's not really doing anything. He's just lying still but pretending to be having a seizure. So they were like, what do you want to do? And they were like, just shake the fuck out of the camera. So that's what it is. And they stabilised it. And it's a really effective effect, essentially.
It's also got great sound design with it as well, so it feels really effective every time it happens.
Hum and squeak.
And I love the concept of what they're exploring there with those characters as they're getting older. You know, what happens to these mutants as we get older? That's a good question. What happens to the mutants as they age? Because as we know, as you age, your body deteriorates and it doesn't behave like it's supposed to. So what happens to mutants when they age with all of those extra muscle powers they have?
Particularly what happens to the most powerful brain in the universe when it gets dementia.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing where it's like, I don't know if I needed that question answered, but when it is answered, it's answered in such a way where it's like, makes sense that that's going to be a bad thing. And what happens also with what you know about brain diseases and stuff makes sense, because things like dementia, you're losing control of your brain is what's happening. So it makes sense that with every bit of lore we've had about the way all these powers work, and you know, Xavier says himself, it's just a muscle. The brain is just a muscle. So the idea of you lose control of that, and then what else would happen, I think is really interesting. And you don't question it at any point. Like nothing in this you question. You don't ever go, all right, okay. She's like, yep, I buy all of this, and it all works, and it makes you feel more invested in it as it goes on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It also makes sense, you know, when you go, Logan's less affected. Of course he is. He heals. It then, because you go, well, why is he the only one there? Why is he the only one looking after Charles? Because he's the only one that can. He's the only one that can do it.
He's also the only one still alive.
And he's also the only one that's left. Yeah.
Well, look, Charles kind of killed the rest of them. But they don't talk about that. They literally don't. But it's all just very implied. And obviously the scene where he's just in bed talking to Logan. It's like, I can remember. But the brain is not a muscle. No, but it is literally a line in the movie just saying your powers are just a muscle.
Yeah.
Is that a thing, Jack? What, that he killed them all?
That's what's implied.
Yeah, it's essentially what he said.
Yeah. The whole event that happened in the West or whatever it was.
In Westchester.
Yeah.
Which is the mansion.
Yeah. Is that
he had a seizure and killed all the X-Men. Yeah.
Yes, and obviously no one would have been able to have stopped him because they didn't know what was going on. It was the first time, and they hadn't developed the medication and stuff to control it. And Logan's the only one that survived because he's the only one that can, because he heals. So, yeah. And they're saying that there hasn't been a new mutant born in however many years.
25 years, which actually takes it to before the end of the original X-Men trilogy, which is weird.
But then timelines are all changed because of...
Timelines are all
past,
changed,
so-
but yeah, well, yeah, that's true. However, this is like 5 years after the end of Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
So they've all aged very quickly.
Time travel! There's those little things like that, but the X-Men timeline's so fucked up anyway, I just kind of ignore all that at this point. I just take it for what it is. Because the X-Men timelines are...
Oh, yeah, it's
mental.
fucked. Like, yeah, I don't care. So it hasn't been a mutant born in so many years. I don't know how or why so many of them are gone. The implication is the ones that are...
Well, the big bad in the lab coat says at the end that he...
No, that's why they stopped being born. But why the ones that were already existing?
Okay, yeah,
I know
good
a lot
point.
of them... I know he was also hunting mutants down, but
Yeah.
come on. Did one person manage to hunt down that many?
Yeah.
It seems unlikely. But I think that's the implication, that he just hunted them all down. He would have died of age before he managed to do that. If you look at Cerebro in the other movies, there's just as many mutants as there are humans. So so that makes, if it was about 50-50, that would make it like 3.5 to 4 billion of them. So good luck. But it's fine. He got shot in the face. Very unceremonious death, and I loved
Oh, yeah, he
it.
starts monologuing. None of that. Just ignore Hannah.
I will. I usually do. Richard said Charles has seizure and lost control over his powers, causing 600 people to be injured in the deaths of several members of the X-Men.
I presume he's been doing some Googling.
Yes, I presume that was a copy and paste.
Yeah.
But it's good to know. That's fair. He does. That's good to know. Several members. I don't know who would be left. I also like watching this film. I'm just like, I would be quite interested in also seeing this kind of take in other members of the X-Men as well. Mm-hmm. But it's never going to happen now. But
That's fine. But yeah, as I say, we keep getting these kind of... The storytelling is so good because it just gives you information as you need it. So you're seeing as time goes on, like, okay, yeah, no, Logan is old and he can't heal. Or he can't heal as quickly.
Yeah.
And he is dying. And then there's just the little hints as you go through that there's something poisoning you. There's something in your body that's poisoning you. You need to find out what it is. Oh, I know what it is. And the idea that the adamantium is now poisoning his body is probably having that much metal for that kind of time, and you would do. Because he's been alive for a very long time and has had that in him for a good while.
Logan, yeah.
Yeah. All those things, and it all just makes sense. It's like, yeah, like he's not, the guy's not immortal. Mm-hmm. He will eventually pass, and the things that are killing him make sense that they're killing him, and then I like that what they're doing is trying to give him not a redemption per se, but I don't know, because it's not really a redemption, because I don't think he's ever nearly needed a redemption, but they're giving him that kind of story and that chance for him to, find a daughter and create that kind of bond and relationship. I guess is a relationship he's not ever really had before. So I guess it's like a completion of his character, maybe, I don't know, but it works. It kind of like, you get at the beginning of this film that he's fed up and he's had enough and he wants to die, and
100%
happy to die now, he's ready to die. But he gets that final little bit of something to live for a bit, I guess, and something to fight for, I suppose.
So obviously they're setting up. They never really say it, but they set up that it's the adamantium poisoning him. Which doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Hannah just said Matt said he had radiation in his bone marrow from the top, but he would heal.
Yeah, he would heal.
He would heal. But metal poisoning comes from when the metal starts deteriorating.
Typically, yes.
Adamantium can't deteriorate. So, to be fair, the only thing they say is he thinks that.
Yeah. Well, in the same way that he's planning on shooting himself with the adamantium bullets, he thinks it's going to kill him, but from previous X-Men lore, we know it doesn't.
Yes.
And I kind of would have
liked... But then
it
does kill X-24.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So they just keep changing shit. It doesn't matter. But yeah, adamantium can't deteriorate. But he only says that He got that from the comics. That's Wolverine. Fair enough. Fair enough. It took Deadpool blowing up Earth for Deadpool to die.
Oh.
Deadpool literally blew up Earth because he wanted to die.
If anyone's going to do that, I'm not surprised that it's Deadpool, to be fair.
But yeah.
You also get a lot of decapitation in this film.
You do get a lot of decapitation. I don't know how...
And many
there would never
fucks.
be... Yeah, there's a lot of swearing.
Yeah.
You would never get a clean decapitation from Wolverine. Not because you wouldn't be able to slice through, but because there's 3.
Yeah, so you'd get slices of neck as well as your decapitation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we never get that, which is upsetting.
Well, maybe he just retracts 2 of the claws and does it with a single swipe as he does a neck decapitation and then...
Cowboy dude, he does that as
he
well.
does do
So
it,
it should be like 6 pieces of head, but it just comes off as one head. I was like, that's disappointing.
But maybe there's still going to be a top point, though. Like, if he gets the top blade here, the head will still be whole. It would then be here downwards
Yeah, it
when
would just
you'd
be
get
the neck that's all pieced in a bit.
the sort of stuff you could put in a sandwich.
Cured meat.
Yeah.
What would you like today? Ham, pastrami, cowboy neck, and
And a bit of pesto.
a bit of pesto. Whoa! Coming in with the heavy spoilers in the chat. It's fine. I think everyone here has seen it.
You just don't say what it is, and then it's
I'm
not
not
a
going to.
spoiler anymore.
I'm not going to.
We've heavily implied it, but there you go. Implication.
Not this, I haven't.
But yeah, no, many swears. I like that. Many swears. It's from the beginning again. They just go with it hard. Like, yep, this is an R-rated movie. We're swearing.
Seems a bit out of character for Charles.
I disagree only because of he has a dementia type thing, and that tends to be what happens. They regress and they lose any form of filter. So
True.
I buy it in that sense. And there are many characteristics he has in this, like I know from family members and Camilla's family members that have had dementia, a horrible, horrible disease, that I see characteristics like, yep, I see that. Things that are just like, take your pills and I want to see it. It's like, like, because it's just what they're like. Like, Camilla's nan at the moment, who's in hospital, who has dementia quite severely, she's taking food and pretending to eat it and then coughing and spitting it out and without people looking and trying to hide that she's not eating from nurses and doing the same with medication and stuff like that and putting it in her mouth pretending she's swallowed and then when no one looks takes it out and hides it in a tissue or something and like it's just what people do when they get to that point. So sad and it's terrible, but I buy it from Charles in this because of that. I think if they weren't buying it as he's have this disease going on, that you would say yes, it's definitely our character. But
Fair enough.
And I do like the thing from the beginning where he is, as you say, just, was it, make way, sir?
I said, make way! And then just, fuck off, Logan. You know who I am then. I always know who you are.
But yeah, no, I like all of that. It's just, it works really well. And again, just sets up the tone of the movie very early on that this isn't going to be comfortable. This is not the characters like you know them. This is them at their worst. And yeah, it's good. Makes for good watching, I think.
I will say, Gabriella, I think his name was. I think her name was Laura's mother.
Laura's
the
nurse, yeah.
As much, if I could be in life-threatening danger, I don't think I would have the stones to start shouting at someone while they're waiting at a funeral.
I mean, I think she knows it's not a funeral that he's attending because he's just a driver, isn't he?
Still, cunt.
Yes.
That would have been one of the things I stabbed someone through the face for if I was in Logan's shoes. That would have been, and then just credits. She was like, Ruff!
I did enjoy.
Directed by James Mangold.
Did enjoy when he then goes and gets the people who's clear driving. Like, who's that? It's like, just a crazy lady. Don't worry.
Well, yeah, she was. She just showed up out of nowhere,
So
like,
Wolverine,
and then started shouting in the rain at someone's funeral. Like,
well, she gets deaded shortly after.
she does get deaded shortly after. She also took the time to very kindly put together a strong edit.
Very strong edit of her, yeah. Just
With,
on her phone, on a Nokia,
with
seemingly.
VO, transitions, like perfectly timed cuts and
good to
shots
know what
to
app she's
describe
using.
what I was talking about. It'd be very handy, this app.
No wonder the phone didn't have any battery left on it.
Yeah, fucking hell. She spent like 6 months and like 4 years of getting a degree in video editing to be able to master this. And she just put it forward. I was like, that was the one thing I was like, all right, fine. Very 2003 of you.
Well, I like the idea that that video wasn't made for Logan. Oh no, it was, because it says at the end, he's like,
it's directly made for Logan. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. I never thought of that.
So that means she just put that together quickly in the hotel room.
Bring it down to a 9.9 out of 10.
Yeah. Absolutely. That was the one thing I was a bit like, all right, sure, if you say so.
I did like the
you were walking around watching a child jumping off a roof and filmed it. You might be part of the problem here.
I did enjoy the subtle thing of Logan's wearing glasses for watching these videos.
Yeah, it's because Caravan, I can't remember, Albino, Stephen Merchant. There we go.
I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah. But I can remember his name. I didn't really want to refer to him as Albino all the time.
We just called him Al.
Indeed. He pointed it out, didn't he? He was like, I guess you don't want to talk about the fact that you can't read the label on that bottle.
Yeah.
Says ibuprofen. And that's why he smacks the mug out of his hand. Yeah. Calamari, that's the one. We're going to call him Calamari.
Oh, dear.
And it's just like, there's something sick inside you. I can smell it. Creepiest thing I've ever heard in my life. I wouldn't have gone and saved him either.
He gets fucked up.
He does. And also, no one cares.
Yeah, and then sacrifices himself.
No one mentions it again. And then he sacrifices himself.
Logan does mention it at the end once he gets Laura to the place. She's like,
he does mention it.
Yeah, he's like, look, I didn't ask for this. Charles didn't ask for this. Caliban didn't ask for this, and they're 6 feet underground. Or whatever. I mean, they're not. They're lying in a morgue, and one of them be left in a car. But no, they do bury Charles. Yeah, they do bury Charles.
Because there was the whole.
I doubt he dug it 6 feet though.
Seems unlikely. Also, in the moment, seems unnecessary.
Yes,
considering you're just leaving him in the woods.
Yeah.
The 6 feet part does seem unnecessary. Although I imagine, given the man with his dog, just walking into the woods immediately afterwards, wasn't buried for long.
No, it was. Yeah, it was found pretty quickly. Yeah.
Pretty much imminently, and his car got stolen in that very moment. So you could make the leap of, if we find your car, we find the people who buried this person, this nonagenarian, as he calls himself.
Mm-hmm. He does call himself that. But yeah, Caliban gets fucked up, sacrifices himself, which I guess gives him a...
Beware the light.
Yeah. What was I going to say? So, the other thing I like that they do with this film is this kind of continued idea that despite... And they've done it all the time, but despite his tough demeanor, Logan does want to help people. He does want to be a good person, but can't get past this thing that every time he tries to help someone, every time he tries to care for someone, every time, no matter what happens, bad shit follows him and people die and people get hurt, which is why he's always secluding himself and isolating himself. And kind of like Charles pushes him again to the Horsey family that got wrecked, that Rich is now talking about, to help them. You know, it's like, we should help them. So someone will come along. Someone has come along. And then goes with them for the food, and they have a nice meal, and he's being a good guy and he's going and helping, and I'd argue puts his foot in it by starting the fight with the others.
I'd say he did not start that fight.
Okay, he didn't start the fight. He did end the fight, but also was always going to come back around. That was always going to come back around.
Yes. It didn't. Really.
Mind you, maybe he was expecting that he was going to be there a bit longer to really put the final...
Yeah. He wasn't expecting a younger version of himself to show up and wreak a bit of havoc. No. Therefore, him not being able to... Although the younger version of himself ended that debate.
What debate?
With the cowboy people.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He ended that argument.
Yeah.
But can you have water? You are now water on the ground. You are very just... moist clumps.
More incredibly brutal fight sequences around there as well, and just
Oh, yeah. I don't know why this is the bit that makes me wince the most out of that entire film, but he takes it in the armpit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the armpit.
Yeah, no,
I don't know why.
Like
just the idea of like being stabbed anywhere. Like many people get stabbed in many places, but the only one that makes me probably go, "Oh," is the armpit. Like all the ones through the head, you're not feeling that.
No, yeah, because that's quick.
That's
Although in the
you're gone.
The slow-mo thing when Charles is having the seizure in the casino, that sequence is fucking excellent.
Oh my God,
of
yes,
him
it
working
is.
his way through, and just the things of like the guard standing there, and you just see his eyes go over and process like, oh fuck,
I am gone, and then
just through the bottom of the jaw. One's through the bottom of the jaw.
The second guy gets.
Oh yeah, so he's through the head,
He's through
into
the side, yeah.
Bottom, yeah. Second
The other
guy
goes
up.
through the back of the head, and it comes out like here.
Yeah.
And it's,
It's excellent. Yeah, so many claws through heads, but it works really well. It's really good because there's one when he goes up the chin and then he pulls it out, then just blood just pours out of his chin as it would do.
well, yes, it would.
But I like that they didn't like. I know obviously you have to get R-rated for that, but I like that they, as you say, that juxtaposition what we had before. They're not shying away from. There is like severe, brutal consequences to these things. They're not just the same. One of the things I like about the boys, they kind of go a little bit more comical with it.
Yeah, they ham it up.
Yeah, but there is that kind of like, these people will be fucking people up. Like they're as strong as what you're saying they are. And I do like that from it.
Rich says he didn't like the fact that X-24 was a young Wolverine. I mean, with the way that they created X-24, there was literally no other way it could have been. It was they cloned Wolverine.
Yeah.
So it would be him. With X-23, Laura, they used his DNA to create a child. So obviously it could have gone either way.
And then what they say later on is that they realize that doesn't work.
Yeah, you can't nurture rage.
Nurture rage. Although she's pretty angry.
I would be as well.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Daphne Keane, the actress name is, who's very young doing that. She's only 17 now. I looked earlier just to see like how young was she.
So she would have been like 11, 12.
Yeah. Incredible. Absolutely.
Fuck, this movie's 5 years old.
Absolutely incredible.
Yes, she is.
In this.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
In every sense.
Especially considering she doesn't talk for most of it.
She doesn't talk for most of it. And in those sections she's not talking, she's still so good. Just subtle little facial stuff, facial expressions, and the way she moves. Like, it's so good. All of her action sequences early on are really good as well. Like, she's terrifying. It's like, good lord. It's genuinely terrifying. And then when she does get to the things later on, when she does start talking to him, like that sequence in the car when she's shouting at him in I guess, Spanish or whatever language it is.
It was Spanish, yeah.
It's excellent. The two of them together as well work so well. I presume, did you see the footage they did at the screen tests of the two of them?
No.
So there was footage they put out, which was either screen test or like line reading just to see how they'd get on together. And, Hugh Jackman was talking about it of the way she was when she just came in and just started shouting at him in this different language and just like, wow, like I did not expect this from this kid. And just that he kind of not knowing how to act back because he just wasn't expecting that kind of thing. And it's so good. That two thing where he's just like, he's like yelling at her to shut up and she's just yelling at him and he's got no idea. It's like,
shut the fuck up!
Yeah. And then she just punches him in the face. And he just has such an expression of shock. Like, don't fucking hit me. And but he manages to like be angry but still just about keep his cool with her as well. And it's I think it just shows more character development as it goes on that he's able to do that. And I do love the line as well towards the end when he's moaning. He's like, I think he says, everyone I ever care for gets hurt. And then she just says, well, I'll be fine then. It's like, oh, that hurt me in the feels.
I like the fact that they kind of put in, they didn't like hammer it in or anything, but they put in a reason as to why she has feet claws.
Oh yeah.
Because she's female, and in the wild, these sorts of animals and big cats, it is usually the female. I think he uses tigers.
Tigers is the example he uses.
As the example, yeah. Front claws for hunting, back claws for defense. So it makes sense. Well, clearly, as with all others. I don't know how humans haven't learnt that in the animal kingdom, it is usually the males that are the most useless.
Yeah.
And we just haven't cottoned on to that.
I've cottoned onto it.
Well, I've cottoned on to that, yeah. But I mean, like, as a society, it hasn't been cottoned on to yet. That maybe we should hand it over, and maybe things might get a little bit better.
There are many people that I think are on board with that idea, to be fair.
Yes.
It's kind of a whole movement.
Well, yes. No, that's for equality.
I'm winding you up.
Motherfucker. I'm saying hand it over. We'll just be told what to do.
I'm fine with that.
I'm absolutely fine with that. I don't want to decide what to do. I can't even decide where I want to eat.
I'm terrible for this, yeah.
I can't make decisions. How do we run a country? I don't fucking know. What? Shoot the dickheads. First point of call. Sorry, Boris. Anyway, let's not get political. The Foot Claws were fucking sick.
Yes.
Especially when just they get revealed and then she just does the... I can't lift my leg more than an inch off the ground. So when she does the kick, the first time you see it, and it's just, and it was just like, oh my god, she's ruined her shoes.
Yeah, no, excellent. And then I guess the only other real thing where it kind of develops into is obviously that he does die.
He does.
And I think they give him a really good, satisfying end as well. Mm-hmm. You know, he helps them escape. He does what he needs to do.
He also dies in a way he always wanted as well. He killed himself.
He killed himself. Nothing intentionally at that point, but he does kill himself. And I don't know. I kind of missed it. I just feel like because I'm sure I had a memory of this happening, but when I watched it today, it didn't happen, and I must have either missed it today or I've made it up. But sure, there's a conversation point somewhere about that he was told he would die of his heart in his hands.
No, that's in The Wolverine.
Yeah, but he's told he would die of his heart in his hands, and then I'm sure that there's then a point where there's an acknowledgement of I was told I'd die with my heart in my hands, and he's there holding his daughter's hands when he dies. But that might be something that I've just sort of put together myself, and it wasn't said.
It wasn't said, no. Yeah.
But I like that.
Yep.
You could make that argument, definitely. He was told he would die of his heart in his hands.
She did also say it will be on the surgical table, but...
Ignore that bit.
Not on the ground in the woods.
Ignore that bit.
Bit different.
It was probably a surgical table for a time.
May I point out, those kids can fuck shit up.
Oh, yeah.
All of those powers. I don't know how useful Pine Needle person would be in an urban environment, but...
Yeah, what's she gonna control?
Unless she obviously just has telekinesis and just chose to use the pine needles, in which case help is required. But she was raised in a lab and taught to just murder everyone, so this is fair.
Oh yeah, they fuck up robot
the hand guy,
yeah.
In every which way. Electrocution, freezing, he gets crushed by grass. Yeah, fucking hell. He doesn't go out quickly, does he?
Nope.
That is deserved, but also ouches. Ouchies.
One of the other things I wanted to talk about in this film was the music. And the music in this film, I think, is excellent. Not because it has like any particular like memorable motives or themes or epic things like that, but the music is used in such a clever way.
It's really unique. I don't like the only bit that really stuck out to me was during the limo chase.
The limo chase when they're escaping with Charles.
They're like really dissonant piano stuff.
Dissonant random jabs at piano notes as they're and it's just really chaotic. Mm-hmm. The music's really chaotic because the scene is really chaotic. They do that a few times. It's particularly prominent in that scene, but there's a few times where they do similar things where there's chaotic fight moments going on and using really, really dissonant, just random jabs of notes that works really well. But then they do what they do so well with the music in The Last of Us, where they have all these poignant moments where are just slow-paced bits of filming with just very gentle, very open piano music or guitar music that's very thin textured, just playing in the background, that's always very atmospheric, and it works so well in all of those moments. The point when they're just driving and stuff, and there's so much of that. And it creates a good juxtaposition between the calm moments of the film and then these chaotic action scenes. And it's really like subtle in the background, really, but it works brilliantly.
Absolutely. Particularly during the horse moment. Mm-hmm. Kind of the music changes and then just really calms down when obviously he's like, go horsey, go. Probably the only moment of serenity during that entire film. But here we are. And it was with horses.
What's wrong with horses?
There is.
Oh, right. I like horses.
I'm allergic to them. They can go fuck off.
Different issue, but fair enough.
And this is not a problem with horses. This is a problem with horse riders. Get the fuck out the road.
I give you that. Give you that.
Absolutely do one. The horse doesn't want to be there. It doesn't want anything to do with you. That horse is thinking, I'm going to kick this bitch in the head. Get off my back. We've invented cars. Leave the poor fuckers alone. Anyway. Also, why do you get fined if a dog does a small shit in public? But when a horse shits out Hawaii in the middle of the road or on a pavement, that's fucking fine.
And save clip. Just that bit. I want you to clip out just the line when a horse shits out Hawaii. Just that bit. No context. No context.
Horse riding on road should be illegal. Can you afford a field? No, don't buy a horse. There we go. There we go. Have a pet you can have within your own confines that don't fucking take up the universe. And especially, I almost died the other day because my road on the way to work is blind bends everywhere, and it's a 60. Am I going to go slower than 60? Am I fucked? So I'm going round. Obviously, I've slowed down a bit for a bend. I'm not a lunatic. But go around the bend, not slowly, and then, horse! Oh my God, horse! And almost fucking died.
So Jack doesn't like horses.
I don't mind. It's not the horse's fault. It's the horse rider fucker's fault.
Okay, yes, definitely a nerve has been touched. You are correct. You won't like the present I've got you of the horse riding experience for your birthday.
No, I wouldn't. I literally wouldn't be able to do it. I am allergic to horsehair. I can't go anywhere near them. I can't even go near people who have been near them.
That sounds handy, to be fair.
Yes, because horse riders are fuckers. I can always tell when someone's going to be an irritating person because my throat gets itchy.
Are you sure that's just not you're allergic to bullshit? You're allergic to people's crap.
Oh, yeah, but
because I feel like I am.
If they're wearing wellies and a gilet and my throat starts itching, fuck off.
Oh dear.
Anyway, back to Logan.
What an excellent experience. All round.
What, horses?
No, Logan.
It's fantastic. We also get two main moments. There's a lot, but two main moments I find of what Hugh Jackman does best as this character, and that is just rage.
Raw.
Yeah. Obviously, you get the when he's just taken this, and then you hear his shout echo through the hills.
I was like, it's weird how just like a man shouting is so distinctive.
No, yeah.
It's like.
Yeah.
That I decided if he is going to arrive in the MCU, I've decided that the snicked isn't the way to do it. The way they revealed him is just a distant roar. Because that will probably make me do the same in the cinema. So I think that's the way they should do it.
Poor gilets, why are they bearing the brunt? Because the only people I've seen that wear gilets are chavs and horse riders. If it's a black Adidas one, they're a chav. If it's like green or camo green, like anything like that, they ride a horse. Both of which, fuckers. So, sorry, gilets. Also, don't your arms get cold? What's the point of a gilet? If you have to wear multiple other layers to then make sure your arms don't fall off, what is the point? I'm very sorry, Katie. Fat-faced one, yeah, you're fine. You're neither a horse rider nor a chav, you're fine. But also, don't your arms get cold? Anyway. It's like wearing trousers with no legs.
Do you mean shorts?
No, they've got small legs.
I think you mean shorts.
I mean small legs. I mean denim white fronts.
Oh dear.
Anyway, Logan. So he does it, and the other one where he probably rages is just after he's buried Charles and he's beating the shit out of the car.
Oh yeah.
Because the car doesn't stop. Relate.
Agreed.
It's really warm in here.
It is. I don't know if I have much more to say on this other than just we know it's spectacular. We've said why. Great performances all around. Great writing. Well paced. Really well shot. Great colour palette. I don't like they did a noir version.
Agreed. I have a thing about this because I fucking hate it.
You have a thing about something. Who would have thunk?
You can shut your mouth. But at least this is relevant, and it's.
Don't trigger him, please.
I am going to answer that. But my main reason why I get confused about this is because gilets are usually so thick that it's super cold weather. I've never seen a thin one. It's always like it's a puffer jacket with no arms, therefore implied very cold. And you're just not wearing anything on your arm. Anyway, the noir version, they only ever seem to do these on movies where the colour palette is fucking vital.
Yeah.
Mad Max got one as well.
Yeah.
Why would you want to watch that in black and white? That would look shit. Same with this. I've watched about 2 minutes of this in black and white and gone, worse.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and changed it.
The choice of colour in this is so vital to the feeling it gives you, and it's not just it's not just this film's in colour. Like, they've been very, very specific about the way it's coloured, and yeah, as you say, like, ignoring that is then taking that away is redundant. Tomb just says, now I'm interested, what is a Gillette?
Gillet, not
well, but he's written Gillette, and that's a
That's
razor.
how you spell Gillet.
Isn't there 2 L's?
There isn't Gillette.
Oh, I'll shut up.
I think there is in Gillette. Gillette is also
I don't think we actually need to fact check this. Oh, it's an E on the end of Gillette for the razors. I'll shut my face, definitely.
It's also double T. It's a jacket without sleeves. Anyway, but yeah, I find that so dumb. So unbelievably dumb, the whole noir nonsense.
I agree.
I'm glad it went away. Mad Max did it. Logan did it. No one seems to have done it since.
Probably because everyone went, no.
Yeah. And especially when it's like you would have to buy it separately. Mm-hmm. No. I'm not doing that.
Oh my God. Charlie's trying to correct spelling.
He Googled it. There's no way he knew how to spell Gillette.
No.
He either Googled it or he's holding a razor.
Possible.
We just call it a sleeveless jacket. That's too many words. Also, to be fair, you don't steal half your language from the French. We do.
Yeah, we do that. we do that. Do you want to rank this?
Yes.
So the ranking so far, and I updated it.
It's number 1.
Well, the ranking so far is number 1, Deadpool. Number 2, X-Men First Class. Number 3, X-Men
You didn't update it.
I did.
You didn't.
I did.
You didn't update it based on the episode.
I did. I watched the episode.
You didn't, because I put X-Men Apocalypse at 12.
You didn't when I watched it earlier. Did you go back afterwards?
Yeah.
See, I didn't. I just watched as far as you going 8, and then you started going some closing thoughts. I was like, cool, 8 it is.
Incorrect. X-Men Apocalypse is at 12 and Origins is at 11.
All right. Well, I will read it as that. Number 1 is Deadpool. Number 2 is X-Men First Class.
Sorry, Charlie.
I'm holding the beard wash, actually. And then he's... very good. Very, very good. X-Men Days of Future Past, number 3. Number 4 is The Wolverine. Number 5 is X-Men 2. Number 6 is X-Men. Number 7 is X-Men The Last Stand. Number 11...
is X-Men Origins
is
Wolverine.
X-Men Origins Wolverine. And number 12 is X-Men Apocalypse.
Basically, I put it like that. And then... as Hannah just said, there was a beautiful moment where I actually got Jack to change his mind.
Oh, right. Okay.
In that, she said, I argued that X-Men Apocalypse is technically a better movie.
Yeah.
X-Men Origins is easier and more enjoyable to watch.
I would agree with that as well, to be fair. So I do agree with that. Because when I was putting this together, I was thinking, I don't know if Apocalypse is better than Wolverine, I think. Oh, sorry, I don't know if Wolverine is worse than Apocalypse, I should say.
It is on a technical movie-making standpoint.
But as we know, there are many other factors that go into it.
Exactly.
So yeah,
exactly. Not on an enjoyable standpoint. So number 1, Logan, and it's not moving.
No, it will be there. Yeah, it will stay there for eternity.
It's not moving. Deadpool 2 is not better than Logan.
Nope. And I don't think it's possible for anyone to come and make an X-Men movie that will be better than this, personally.
No.
It would have to do a hell of a lot, because there's so much of this film that makes it so good and so poignant.
Like, the MCU would never make a movie like this. And that's the reason why. Like, it might have one on par, but in a different way. Like, they might make a top tier MCU X-Men movie, but They would never make a movie like this, so it's...
They would never make anything to discredit how good this is, I think is the main thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, it'll be very different. I'm not overly convinced we're going to get an MCU X-Men proper.
No, I don't think we will. Not like this, anyway. Not for a very long time.
Not for a long time. I think that they're focusing on the Fantastic Four at the moment, and they're tiddling the fact that they exist in the multiverse. But I think that's all we'll get them in. The X-Men 97 show, it could be their multiverse version of in the MCU. It could be just an animated universe. We've seen that can exist.
Well, there you go. So that's decided then.
Indeed. This is a fucking top tier movie in general, let alone out of this ranking. I think even if we put every Marvel movie from every studio together and ranked them all, this would probably be number one.
Think so?
Depends how. Obviously, you can't really compare this to something like Endgame, but
no, it's a very different type of movie. But I think, I mean, as you know, this is kind of Endgame only works in the way it does because of all the movies that are
MCU.
around
Agreed,
it.
yeah.
If Endgame was a standalone movie, that film would actually would have a lot of issues, I think.
For sure, but the MCU does exist.
The MCU does exist, yes, yeah. But I mean, like, you end up judging it in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean. So because of that.
Yeah, you can't. There's apples and oranges, really, but origins, fuck's sake.
That kind
I
of
still think this would probably be
still makes sense because of the origins film in this is so
Indeed.
bad. It is like comparing apples and oranges. Origins.
yeah, fair. That's a new saying now. Coined. I don't have a coin. Who has coins?
I've got some cents on the dining table.
Why didn't you put it back in your head? Wow. That was a top tier joke, and it will be appreciated. This has been Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing and what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at @rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can join the chaos and carnage that is a conversation over in the Discord.
Indeed.
And now you can follow us on Instagram at @rabbitholemedia_UK and on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tits and bits. If you would like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that recently got wider. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but goes a very long way in helping us bring you the shows that you love.
Yes, it does.
Coming up on the channel, don't go anywhere because Kristian's going to be telling me stories and showing me goodies from his trip to Disney World?
Disney World.
World. I can never remember. Never remember. No one else fucking voted.
Rich has put a comment there, though.
Can I make a suggestion?
I'm open to, because I have zero ideas of how to proceed.
If you have a suggestion, text it to me. Or us. Because we're in a tie and I need to kind of announce it.
Well, we can announce it on the Rabbit Hole show and then we'll put it in the Discord.
But it makes more sense to do it on Admit
It does
One,
make
doesn't
more sense to do it on Admit One. So yeah, Rich, text us now.
Yeah. Do it now while I waffle.
Yeah.
While
Remember
I waffle.
to ask the bill payer's permission, idiot.
I was hoping there had been a sudden shift in the vote. I'm not going to lie, because the two movies that are tied, I do not want to watch in any way,
No,
shape,
Tim,
or form.
you don't get a second vote. That's not how this works, and you can't change your vote. That's cheating. It's cheating.
That's just a different movie.
It's a different film.
That solves nothing.
Like, it's a good film. Don't get me wrong.
I was going to suggest The New Mutants, but I also don't want to watch that. No, I refuse.
I mean, it's your show, so I'm going to leave the entire thing up to you on what to do, but I will just point out the points. Shanghai Noon will be a later one if we ever, because there's two films, so that's just replying to Hannah there. So Shanghai Noon is something we've already thought about doing later in the future and doing both of them. But Caden has voted in Discord apparently on something.
Caden has voted, just not in Discord.
Oh, just not in Discord. Yeah. So Caden said on here, Kung Fu Hustle.
In which case,
So
it's
you
Kung
could
Fu
make
Hustle.
the argument that that's the winning vote, and I'm happy to go with that. But you're in charge. It's your show.
In which case, is Kung Fu? We're doing Kung Fu Hustle. Rich will be pleased as it was his choice. He has just texted me saying no one cares about the films we've chosen. And my response to that is it's our passion films. Fuck the lot of you.
Yeah,
don't care.
That's the whole point. It's and I think. But the point of the passion films was that we talk about something that we're passionate about in the hope that we can show you something new that you will then find. And I think we've had examples of that already. With even Hannah's and I've forgotten what it's fucking called. Parasite ended up being a film I actually enjoyed watching, and I enjoyed watching Walter Mitty last time as well. So I haven't seen this. I don't know what it is. So sure, I'll watch it. Maybe I'll really like it.
Kane just voted in the Discord. So it's definitely Kung Fu Hustle now.
Kung Fu
Rich will be
Hustle
thrilled.
it is.
His vote has been chosen. Not gonna lie. Even I, as much as I'm upset that my choice didn't get voted for because it's the only one of those movies I want to watch, I'm so fucking happy Rat Race didn't win.
Do we talk about whose films is what?
Yours was Rat Race, Charlie's was Legend, and mine was A Quiet Place.
I think people probably assumed Rat Race was Charlie's because he tends to pick
shit films.
Comedies is what I was going to say.
I loathe Rat Race.
That's fine.
There is a 90% chance I don't watch it. I'm just pointing out.
But we're not doing it, so that's fine. You don't.
Yeah.
So there's a 100% chance you won't watch it.
There is a 100% chance I don't
I
watch
am
it.
genuinely shocked that no one voted for Legend at all, though, and no one's looked at Legend because that film's genuinely excellent.
So it's a Quiet Place.
I haven't seen it, so I can't judge, but I believe you.
Legend is excellent.
Yeah, so I'm really surprised that no one went for that. But there you go.
So yes, next Saturday, Kung Fu Hustle. I believe it's on Netflix. Was it Netflix, Rich?
I think Rich said it was Netflix.
Was it Netflix? I know it was on something. He definitely said it was on something. I just think it was Netflix. So no one has to pay for anything.
Should we do a quick reset and have a Kit Kat?
Yeah. Make sure to stick around for all the goodies and the chats and the stories of the holiday. I have no idea what's going on. If I think Life of Brian is shit, it's the problem. I think all of us, other than you, came to the conclusion that it was pretty poor on the episode that we did Life of Brian on.
Yes.
Yeah. So it seems you're the problem.
Unsurprisingly.
Anyway, stick around. We'll be back in a bit. Bye!